Hey everyone, and welcome to Behind the Spires. I'm Ed, and this is...
Hi guys, I am Molly, and we are your friendly neighborhood city employees.
We work for the production team for the city of Frederick, and we are here to bring you this brand new bi-weekly podcast where we bring the business of Frederick forward.
I like that. I like how you did that.
Thank you.
Speaking of our production team, we have a wonderful producer, Lance.
Yes. Hey,
It's out
Lance.
there.
Hello. How's it going?
Oh, the voice is
yeah.
good.
Let's have a good show today.
Yes. So we have Lance, and if you have been anywhere in the city of Frederick at any event, and you see a man either producing or behind a camera,
Very recognizable.
probably him. We have Jeff, we have Journey, we have David, and we have Emily also. So great
team.
Best team, some would say. So yeah, this is going to be a bi-weekly podcast. We're going to see if we can even be more than that. But to start, we'll do
In the
bi-weekly.
future, we'll see what...
And you can find us on...
You can find us right here on Spotify at Behind the Spires, or if you're watching us here on YouTube at City of Frederick, Maryland.
And we really want to do this to bring you guys, Frederictonians, the latest policies, events, news, projects the city has going on. We want to make sure that we get you guys the best information. So please follow us, like, subscribe, all of that good stuff.
All the fun YouTube lingo that the cool kids...
Yes. So what did you do this weekend?
So this weekend was kind of like a relaxing weekend, but most recently,
Yes.
I was out in New York for the first time.
New York City.
New York City.
What did you do?
A lot of things, actually.
Fantastic.
Went up there for a surprise birthday weekend.
Oh, that's right. Ed's big birthday.
So, my
20 years old.
Yeah,
Yes.
20 years old.
Okay.
If you're not watching this on YouTube, you can see how serious I am.
Yes. Very youthful.
Very youthful, very demure. Very mindful.
No. We aren't doing that.
But yeah, so my girlfriend took me up there for like birthday surprise.
Amazing.
Did a bunch of stuff. Got to see buildings that I've only ever seen in media or like movies or something like that.
That's
Like,
really
I was really excited to see the Flatiron Building.
Yes.
Because in the Spider-Man movies
Yes.
from Sam Raimi, that's the Daily Bugle. So cool.
Nerded out.
Nerded
I
out.
love it.
She took me to go see Aladdin on Broadway,
Fantastic.
and Aladdin's my favorite movie. So boy, I was...
That's really special.
It was really good.
Well, I didn't do anything this weekend, but upcoming, we have the big game.
The big game.
Who
Yeah.
are you rooting for?
I'm rooting for the Commanders because they won. Wink, wink. But no, I'll stick with my.
You won. You'll stick with your what?
I'll stick with my NFC East.
Okay,
So,
fantastic.
Eagles.
So I'm going to be watching the big game.
Mhm.
And I'm also excited because my gym is having a little, like a dance at Holly Hills
Ooh.
Country Club. So I'm going to be doing that on Saturday night. It's a sneaker ball.
A sneak.
So we get to dress up and wear some Nikes at the same time.
Okay.
I'm excited. It's going to be rad.
Do you have any of those Reebok Air Pumps from?
No. Oh, that would be
Those.
that would be fantastic. So on top of all the news and the events and the policies that we're going to be talking about
Yes.
on the podcast, let's rein it in. We're going to be having a special guest each week.
Yes.
And who do we have this week?
So this week's special guest, quite special, in fact.
Yes.
Greatest guest, I think we're gonna.
Greatest.
Greatest. It's gonna be hard to top.
Okay.
It's our very own mayor, Michael O'Connor.
Fantastic. I'm so excited. You built it up so much.
I know.
You got
so
too
much.
excited.
Got too excited.
So we're going to be talking to the mayor after this commercial break. But before we go to commercial break, we want to give a new business shout out. If you didn't hear, Aya Cultural Art Studio opened recently and was a location for the city's first official ribbon cutting of 2025. Aya Cultural Art Studio is a school and community space dedicated to promoting cultural awareness and artistic expression through dynamic programs, workshops, and events. I love this. I'm so excited to check them out.
Really cool.
Rooted in the principles of community and creativity, Aya Arts serves as a beacon for Frederick's thriving cultural art scene. It's actually located at 6907 Baltimore National Pike on Frederick's Golden Mile. And I have a note here, don't forget to check out its boutique. And so I'm very excited about that.
Oh, yeah. And being that it's right on the Golden Mile, it should be really easy to find.
That's right. So check out Aya, and we will be right back.
Thinking about starting a business? In the city of Frederick, your imagination knows no bounds. With the Department of Economic Development's help, you can take the leap to become an entrepreneur. We'll help you fire up your business plan. See the resources around you, build relationships with community partners, and create a clear, clean path to opening your business. Together, we will plant your ideas and watch them grow. Let's get your business off the ground. Contact the City of Frederick for resources to start your small business today.
Hey guys, we are back. Welcome back to Behind the Spires, and we have a very special guest with us today. We have our very own, you may have heard of him, Mayor Michael O'Connor. Mayor, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
And I want to start out with a question that I would like to know. What inspired you to get into public service in the first place?
Right in.
Wow. Okay, we're
let's go.
jumping right in.
Let's go.
I grew up in Frederick and spent the first 20 years of my professional life in journalism, doing radio and television. So even this format right here is a little bit familiar from
Comfortable.
some of my background. I never been too afraid of microphones. That might be a bad thing too. But spending 20 years covering local government in Frederick and Washington County, I really came to appreciate the work that gets done at the local government level. I could see the passion and the drive of the people who served. And when my job situation changed a little bit and I had the opportunity to get into public service, it seemed like a natural opportunity because I'd spent so much time watching it and really believed that getting involved was a way to make a difference in a community that I'd grown up in, that it treated me well, was a place where I was raising my kids, and the opportunity to contribute and give back has been really fun.
I love that.
Yeah.
So how did you get to be mayor? Like jump from journalism to public service to mayor now?
So I spent 20 years in journalism, and then I phased out of that because the company that I was working for was changing the way they were doing the work that I'd done for about a decade, and it wasn't going to fit me anymore. And I was looking for some other opportunities, and the chance to head up a nonprofit to become the business manager of my church opened up. People said to me, "Hey, you would be good at that." And I learned in that moment that when people tell you that you might be good at something and you should think about trying it, that you should listen to them. And I did that for a decade. And it was during that time that I had the opportunity to run for the Board of Aldermen. At the end of 8 years on the Board of Aldermen, I certainly could have continued to serve, wanted to keep serving, but wasn't certain that I just wanted to serve another 4 years on the board because I could win an election. And there were some things happening in the city in that 2017 timeframe that I felt like I could contribute more of my time and energy to. And so I ran for mayor and was fortunate enough to be successful and to win re-election in 2021. So been a fantastic opportunity.
Been a wild ride.
Yeah.
I love it. When anyone tells me I'm good at something, my initial reaction is to be like, I don't know, but you were
No, you need
Really that good?
Yeah.
if you trust them. I mean, to make sure there's people that they're people that you believe and trust and are not like to
Steer you wrong.
send you into the abyss.
Yes.
Yeah, if I had some close family tell me something that I was really good at something, I would believe them.
Yeah.
It's like some friend I knew from college.
Probably not. So Frederick, born and raised, what are you excited about Frederick this year? Like what are the top initiatives for the city?
I think the biggest initiatives in the city also are about trying to address some of our biggest challenges as a community. Frederick is obviously a growing place. We're one of the fastest growing communities in the metropolitan DC area. We have a high degree of vibrancy in Frederick. And with that growth and that vibrancy come a lot of the challenges that we deal with every day. So how do we make sure that while Frederick continues to grow and prosper, that we remain an affordable place for people to live and have a high quality of life for our residents? So our focus on what we can do in the police department and the work that they do, in the service delivery that we do every day in the city of Frederick. I tell people often, at our core, the city is a service delivery organization. We pick up the trash, clean the water, we provide parks and public services, we maintain public infrastructure, and people have come to expect a high degree of quality out of that delivery of public infrastructure.
Right.
And so all of that contributes to a high quality of life in our community. So a lot of it is focused on that. So how do we make sure that we keep our police department vibrant? How do we look at our parks and our other public facilities and ensure that we're delivering the services that we need to our residents? Our Department of Housing and Human Services plays a critical role in supporting the needs of people who are living on the margins and challenged as the cost of living continues to be something that we struggle with, not just in Frederick, but frankly everywhere in the country. And housing then becomes a critical component of that. Our ability to work with partners in the county and the state to deliver affordable housing is a really important thing for us to look at. So, we're partnering with the county right now on an analysis of housing in Frederick County and in Frederick City, and the result of that is going to be some, we hope, tangible tools, things that we can do really constructively to help drive a more affordable housing environment in Frederick. So, when you look at service delivery, it's big projects that we're working on in some of our parks, Hill Street Park, West Side Regional Park. It's our new police headquarters building. It's the stadium project and what's being done to renovate Harry Grove Stadium to hopefully bring affiliated minor league baseball back to Frederick. And it's economic development projects, the employers, what's happening all over the city of Frederick. It feels like a week doesn't go by that we're not cutting the ribbon on some new business. We've seen tremendous business expansion. We've seen growth in our business tax base. That's taken some of the pressure off of residential building. We're obviously looking at the work we're doing on the Creek with the Downtown Hotel Conference Center and project. And so a lot of good things happening in Frederick. And we just have to sort of keep our eyes on the prize and stay focused on how we make sure that quality of life, anything that we do, all of our decision making is focused on making our residents' lives better.
You touched on so many things. And I think one of the cool things that I learned about when I came to the city and then started working for the city is that, we're the second biggest city in Maryland, which I was like, no.
Know that.
I was like Gaithersburg, Rockville, Annapolis, and it's still that like small town feel. And how do we keep that small town feel while being and like a cool place for art and a cool place for food and business, like you said, all those things. Well, I was talking to people before. I was like, we're going to interview the mayor for a podcast. And someone was like, asking about affordable housing, which you touched on. So like, what are the tools that are going to be, do you see being implemented after you partner with the county and all that stuff to look at, I know you first have to like look at the landscape, but what is the next step, do you think?
Well, I think that one of the challenges that we hear often is that when new housing developments are going in, there is a natural tendency of some people to say, why do we need more housing? But there's certainly data coming from the federal government and the state government that suggests that just to meet the housing needs of the people who are already here, we're 7,000 to 10,000 units below where we should be. And so the answer can't be stop building houses if what we want to do is address an affordability of housing challenge. So now it's what are the tools that are at our disposal that can help us to bring that cost down or to make it a little bit, to re-level the playing field. What we've seen really since the pandemic is a tightening of the housing market and rising interest rates. So these are sort of the macroeconomics in a housing conversation that at the city of Frederick we can't control. I don't control interest rates at the Fed.
You don't.
I don't control how much people have to pay to borrow money.
Right.
I can't control what prompts people to take existing residential units and put them on the market. When we continue to see a smaller than healthy number of resale units in the market, that is most likely to be the most affordable units that you're going to see in any marketplace. And we just don't have a lot of those units available. Most of what's driving housing in Frederick is new construction. We need the new construction, but we need the resale units on the market as well. So some of it is looking at whether or not our fee and regulatory process for bringing units to the market are inhibiting pricing. Are there ways in which we can support more low-income housing tax credit type developments? Every one of those projects that come forward, things like 520 North Market Street, Ox Fiber Brush Company, the old Goodwill building, the Foundry on South Street, a number of other projects. We're looking anytime we can when these projects are coming forward to support them. Do we need to do more in terms of the regulatory environment they work in to sort of bring down the marginal costs and as a result bring down what those entities either would sell or rent those units for in a healthy marketplace where we're trying to get everybody a roof over their head.
Very cool. I do want to jump topics a little bit and talk about something that's on everyone's mind. So the new administration has a policy shift towards immigration. You had a press conference in December 2024, and you talked about supporting our immigrant community. How is Frederick responding to the new administration and new policies?
I think that there's a lot of questions. I think a lot of people are understandably concerned about what the direction might look like. Let me be clear that from the city of Frederick's position, our position hasn't changed on how we look at this issue. Anyone who chooses to call Frederick home, we have to deliver services to them. And in the provision of those services across the city, we don't ask people where they came from. We don't care if they came from New York City. We don't care if they came from Virginia, and we don't care if they came from West Africa. We're in the business of providing services to the people that choose to call Frederick home, and we want Frederick to be a desirable place for people to move and to live and to raise their families and to achieve the highest quality of life that they possibly can. We don't ask how they got here, and from a just functioning perspective when it comes to immigration, we're not asking them about citizenship because our services don't depend on citizenship as a condition to use our pools or use our parks or get food from our food bank. So our police department does not make inquiries about immigration enforcement. None of our city agencies require citizenship as a provision of being able to provide those services. And I think that's really important from a service delivery perspective. But obviously people are concerned because while we don't ask those questions, there are entities and agencies that do. And we don't have a role in enforcing any federal immigration rules. But if federal immigration enforcement comes to our community, we also cannot obstruct or stand in the way of what's happening. So a lot of the work that we have to do, I think, is to, one, try and reassure people that they're welcome in our community, to give people the best information that we can about where to go to find the support and the services that they need. We don't do much of that directly. We don't provide direct support to individuals who are trying to work through the immigration process in the United States. I'm a big believer that the federal government has to look at the border. They have to look at federal immigration policy, and they have to create it and set it up in a way that's rational and works for people. People want to come to this country for a reason, and we should all be proud of the reasons why people want to come to this country, because all of us, unless you can trace your ancestry back to the indigenous peoples of the United States, all of us immigrated from someplace else. I've said my paternal grandfather is the most recent. My paternal grandparents came from Ireland. It's pretty recent from my perspective in terms of my family. And I think we've got a role and a responsibility, because we're in the service delivery business and it's a small community, to open our arms and open our hearts and try and find ways that we can support people and reassure them. People are scared. People are afraid. I don't want people to be afraid. What we can do at local government is try and reassure them with our words and the programs that we do to try and make them not be afraid.
I think a lot of like you touched on, is just the confusion and the changing policies. And I know that you've had some listening sessions with the community. Is there anything you can share about what you've heard?
I think that what we have tried to do in sitting down with various groups of people, and we've done that with immigrant supporting organizations, we've done it with ministerial and clergy related groups, we're doing it with the business community, with nonprofits, is to just understand what are the ways, as we have a changing landscape at the federal level, what are the ways that we at the local level can support the work that all these organizations will continue to do, need to continue to do every day to support our community. And the message is, what we've heard from a lot of them is, as you pointed out, it's a little confusion. I don't think people know. I don't know. And so all I can do is reassure people that we will try and be a trusted source of information. When people are confused about what's going on, the best place to look, as valuable as podcasts and social media can be, these are not necessarily always the perfect places for people to get the best information. So we want the city to be a trusted resource for our residents and to work through whatever processes we have to figure that out. What we're hearing is that organizations want to partner with the city. They want to find ways for the city to support their work and their efforts. And what we've asked them is to help us to identify where those gaps in service delivery are and to determine whether or not it's appropriate for the city then to provide resources. We've talked about this idea of creating a support fund that would allow us to potentially fill those gaps. And in talking to various, particularly immigrant supporting organizations, they're doing the work on their end to really try and figure out what the need is amongst the clients and the people that they see every day. And then when they give us that information, as we build this concept of a fund that we'll ask the city council to support in the upcoming budget, we'll have reasons behind the dollars. It won't just be we want money to do this thing. It's going to be clear that we have organizations that are doing this work, and it's more important for the organizations to do the work than for the city to do the work on their behalf and figuring out what our way is to support them.
Right. And you touched a little bit. You said podcast, maybe we're not the best place to get the information, except for this podcast, Behind the Spires.
Standing.
But do you want to jump into social media and kind of like the siloed information landscape we are living in today? We're very polarized. It's hard to even get on Facebook and talk about something that's benign. And I'm just speaking personally, without, comments and different things. It seems like we're just so calcified in our position and it's hard to talk to each other. How do we foster unity in Frederick, especially amongst people with different viewpoints?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really challenging dynamic, I think, coming out of a journalist background, spending 20 years in active journalism, going to school, studying journalism, studying law and ethics and writing, understanding the training that went into being good at doing this kind of stuff, and knowing that to, frankly, start a podcast in your living room or to push stuff out on social media requires no training, no understanding, no education. It's a difficult environment and to work in. So being able to identify trusted voices to the community, I think, is important. We are a diverse community. We live next door to people who probably don't agree with us on everything.
Right.
No one agrees with us on everything. But we have lost our ability to actually have dialogue with people who have different opinions. And a lot of that is because if we can't even agree on a central set of facts, it's really hard to even take the next step to trying to persuade someone to see things from your point of view. I don't know how we get back to getting people to agree on the facts. If we could start with that, that would be a great beginning. I think we benefit in Frederick that while we are a growing community, the second largest city in Maryland, we're still small by the standards of most definitions of what a city is. We're a small to medium-sized city in the landscape of 19,000 municipal governments across the United States. So being the second largest city in Maryland, it's a nice thing to hang our hat on, but I think we should take advantage of the fact that we're still relatively small. We have cohesive community. We're high functioning in Frederick. We have great partnerships between the city, the county, the state, and the federal government when it comes to government working together. We have great relationships between the public sector, the private sector, and the nonprofit sector in Frederick, whether that's from an economic development standpoint or from a service delivery and human services standpoint. I think all of those things should make those conversations in Frederick easier than they might be in other places. And I'm never going to stop talking about the need for us to at least sit down and have conversations about what our differences are. If we can't have a conversation with somebody that we disagree with in a way that is at least respectful of the different opinions, it's going to be really hard to navigate what you've described. And I think social media doesn't do us a favor in this regard. It's too easy the way no one knows what algorithms are, but we all point to them as the reason why we become very siloed.
Right.
We land in our own echo chambers at all times. And until we're willing to sort of get out from behind the keyboard, get out from behind the microphones, get out from behind the cameras, and actually go out and talk to people in community, we're going to have a hard time bridging the gap. It really comes down to person contact.
I totally agree.
Yes.
Get out from behind the screens and talk to each other.
Okay.
I know we want to wrap up soon because
Very closely.
we don't want to take too much of your time, but we do have some fun questions towards the
Fun
end.
questions. Now, I told her I was gonna have a surprise.
Okay.
And she didn't know about this. I'm calling this segment right here
I don't like it.
the hot pepper hot seat. And that's because I brought a habanero pepper for you to eat.
Yeah.
No, you're not gonna do that.
He said no, thank you.
Not
Okay.
I only brought this as a prop.
Not if you want me to answer the questions. I mean,
He's gonna. Okay,
I wasn't stealing that from anything else.
we're gonna do quick round trivia.
the hot
Yes.
pepper hot seat.
Are you ready? It's not hot pepper hot
Okay.
seat. It's quick round trivia. Okay, Mayor, what U.S. president is on Mount Rushmore and has a mustache?
That would be Teddy Roosevelt.
Oh, ding ding
Good
ding.
job.
Okay,
All right, the band Guns N' Roses was formed in what U.S. state?
I have no idea. California.
yes.
Good
You got
job.
two. Okay, last question. What does PEMDAS stand for?
Problem exists between PEMDAS. It would just be desk and that's PEMD. That's ped. I don't know. I don't.
Okay, algebra. Please excuse my dear.
Oh, that would. Oh,
Yes.
Parentheses.
Operations for. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, 2 for 3 and
Hey, that's not bad.
okay, Mayor, thank you so much for being with us today. We hope you come back. Will you come back?
Absolutely.
Did you like the time here?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Of course I did.
Excellent.
Okay, good. We're gonna
Good to
get
have you all.
some of your updates in future episodes, and I think it might be something cool like Mayor Minute. We don't know yet. We're doing a little bit of
Okay.
whiteboarding about
the
this.
name, and
Yeah.
I think that would.
But we'd love to have you
Good.
back. Thank you so much for all of your answers, your very thoughtful answers. And we will be right back after this commercial break.
When a snow emergency event is declared for the city of Frederick, help out the city and your neighbors by staying informed, keeping snow emergency routes clear of cars, and following city guidelines for private property responsibilities. Visit cityoffrederickmd.gov/snow, download the iSpires app on your smart device. By working together, we can keep the city of Frederick looking majestic during the winter season and safe for all who need to travel.
Yeah, definitely.
We're back, by the way. It
Hi, guys. That was an awesome interview.
was a really good interview. A little disappointed he didn't take me up on my hot pepper hot seat challenge with the habanero, but it was just a prop. I figured he wasn't going to anyway, but we still had fun. It was a lot
What a
of good
nervous.
information.
If I had eaten that pepper, then I would probably be dead.
But
Okay. Ed is a soldier. So one thing when you're done that pepper
Mhm.
that I did really like, well, I liked a lot of things that he said, but just like coming together as a community, making sure that we talk to each other face to face, like let's get back to it.
yeah, exactly.
And we have so many things in the city that you can come and you can come to public meetings. I know we're gonna plug those in a little bit, but it's just something I think that we forget about. We're always behind a screen.
Right. I mean, you can always come out, get your voice heard. There's nobody stopping you from hearing what you have to say.
Right. And if you become friends with Ed, he might bring a pepper to
I might bring you a pepper.
anyways, so we have a few updates. On January 15th, we did host a town hall where we got feedback from residents on the proposed district boundaries. So those notes are being shared with the city council, and they are going to be making some decisions about the districts based on all your guys' feedback soon. I believe we still have a survey up, so if you go to our website, you can take that. We do have also, with our girl Shawan, a couple NAC meetings coming up.
do.
Do you want to talk about those?
So on February 4th, at 7 p.m., Governor Thomas Johnson Middle School, the cafeteria, NAC 8, will be meeting. And then on February 13th at 7 p.m. at Women's Mill Clubhouse, NAC 4 will be meeting.
And Shawan does an amazing
Job.
shout out to Shawan. We also got an update from Gerard. Do you want to talk about that one?
Yeah, so for all the businesses out there, March 12th, the city of Frederick's very own Gerard Bowens.
You don't want to miss it.
Don't want to miss it. Don't want to miss him. is hosting Doing Business with the City 101 here at City Hall at 10 a.m.
And he gave us a little blurb. It says, ready to take your business to the next level and explore exciting contracting opportunities? I do. Join the City of Frederick's Office of Equity and Inclusion for an exclusive learning series on doing business with the City 101. You guys don't want to miss that. Again, that's going to be on March 12th.
Yeah, that that needs some like really exciting under music thing.
Yes, get like really dramatic.
Oh, yeah, like elevator music that's like office type.
I said dramatic and you said elevator music.
Yeah, it can be dramatic.
Okay. We'll put the RSVP and all that good stuff into the comments. And like we mentioned, our public meetings. And what's our next public meeting?
So we have our next public meeting on Thursday, February 6th,
Okay.
7 p.m. here in the City Hall.
And public meetings are open to
the public.
So come on down. Okay, Parks and Rec. Our city Parks and Rec is amazing. They have a ton of events coming up, and a few of them are at Tally Rec Center.
Yeah.
Tell us about the first one.
So on February 8th, there is a Farm Life Through the Senses event. And then on February 14th, there is an Adult Valentine's event.
Very exciting.
Very exciting.
So February 14th is the Adult Valentine's event, and then February 15th is going to be the Kids Valentine's event. Both of those are going to be at Tally Rec Center. And then their big event is going to be on April 19th. Huge recreation festival. It's going to be at Tally and at Baker Park. They're going to have an egg hunt. There'll be an open house. There'll be Touch a Truck. There's going to be Earth Day. And all of those updates are available on social media and on our website.
Yes, very exciting.
All of those updates and more. We did a call out for events, and we got a plethora that the city is hosting, and we picked out a few. But to check out all of them, please go to our website and check out our social media.
Absolutely.
And then what else can the people do?
Well, you can get involved by attending the public meetings, head to the website, but you can also check out our next podcast, which is probably dropping sometime in February, maybe the 18th.
Oh, our next podcast, you're saying?
Next podcast.
Okay. And we want to hear from you guys. This is a podcast for you. So please email us. We have an email address at behindthespires@cityoffrederickmd.gov.
Great.
We want to know what you want to hear. We want to know what questions you have. We want to know even who you'd like us to interview in the city. So
give us your feedback.
Yes, we have a lot of exciting things coming up. So
Absolutely.
We do have city employees, but we also might be dabbling in some Frederick true crime from detectives from the police department.
Just a little behind the scenes stuff.
Listen,
Behind the Spires. I'm excited.
I'm super excited about the true crime. That's going to be very exciting. So again, it's Behind the Spires at cityoffrederickmd.gov. Please email us. We want to hear from you. And thanks for spending time with us. I'm so jazzed.
I'm really excited. I'm want to do more of these, get to know more people who, send us some stuff to that we can respond to.
I'm excited about your new hot challenges. You're going to bring in more peppers. We're going to have some habanero sauce and all that kind of stuff. We'll see what's going on. And remember to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
The important places. And just remember, email us at behindthespires@cityoffrederickmaryland.gov.
I don't know if we mentioned email us. And
you got to mention it 3 times for it to stick.
And we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.